welcome to this edition of Dan Van Dam and Friends podcast, where, quite frankly, Dan Van Dam loses track of everything and just says, fuck the world. But no, basically, here's what's going to go down with this if I can, if I remember to. I'm going to try my best to get people on the show. So next week, I'm going to try to get somebody on the show. It's not going to be either too long or anything too short. Just right consistency. I'm going to try to keep these short enough where it's not overly long. It's like a 10-minute or so. That's my goal for every one of these videos, to keep it very short. So I'm going to try this as well as to get a highlight reel going for folks here in the YouTube community. Try to bring back that element of promotion for other members or community members. I thought that was a big crucial aspect to the community, was that we were able to help each other out by promoting one another aimlessly, which was, I think, was a good aspect. It got this sort of sound wave element going for everybody, and everyone was able to benefit off that. Because, it's like shouting in a canyon. Some birds, a couple snails, if they're able to walk around in the desert. Snails will probably be dry and everything because of the sand on the ground, and they'll scrape across that and it'll be all over for those poor little bastards. But enough about snails. Apparently I want a pet snail. I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to talk about an article that I did on my website, Daily Gamepad now. So, excuse me. So basically, this was for Warframe, the PS4 edition. Now, I'm not going to go into complete and utter detail about what's in this article. I'm just going to discuss my mindset while I was doing this article, because I thought it was a little bit interesting at least. So, when I was doing the article, I had a lot of deficit of sleep. I wasn't sleeping very well, as I usually don't, as I'm mentally going crazy at this point. So, I was writing out this review, and originally it was supposed to be for, just the Warframes themselves in particular. I wanted to cover the Warframes themselves being the main focus of this article. I wanted to talk about every single one of them for the 3.7 patch that's implemented into the PlayStation 4 edition of the game. What happened was it ended up turning into an actual review of the game, because I had a review up for this game already. So I was just going to redirect to that. Go, hey everyone, look at that shit right there. It's right there. Go to the redirect. But instead, what happened was the review ended up turning into chaos. Pure and utter chaos. Because the website, when we backed it up before, or a long time ago, a lot of the articles got lost to the ages of time. That's just how it is when you convert things over. So I had to retype out the review, and because the game's all updated and everything, I had to basically go through it and retype it from every element possible. So it wasn't a big humongous deal. I mean, I was already playing the game anyway, I had an understanding of the game. So what I did was I loaded up the game, and this was like a 48-hour, I'm not saying I was sitting there literally for 48 hours, but just within a 48-hour period, I would take a lot of footnotes. And most of these footnotes, which is now in a disposed copy of a receipt, which I just have a blank one right here, was about, me literally grabbing a pen, writing down things for me to remember or things to go back to, and I would just sit here with a pen. This pen right here, this Pilot Acroball pen, or Aeroball pen. And I was just sitting here writing shit down. I was writing shit down. And so I would sit there and taking footnotes. Granted, I had a computer right in front of me. I could easily just type tap this shit down. I didn't. I just said, okay, I'm going to use a pen and paper. So, and I also had some grid-lined paper right over there too, which I could have easily used. But no, I used a receipt. I don't know why. My brain was just like, paper, pen, good. I was going in the freaking Frankenstein mode here. So, I was writing all this shit down. All the stuff I needed to remember to write up after, which thankfully I did. It was a very coherent, or an incoherent writing, might I add, because my brain was just like, I gotta write all this shit down. So I basically sat there and I profiled almost all the characters available in the PS4 version of this game, which humbly I did get a code or a voucher basically to redeem all the characters for the game, and I was able to write all this shit down and play it. So I got a jinx of every single character. I had to sit there and literally study every single character, and if they didn't appeal to me, I didn't quite, favor them too much. That kind of thing. That's generally how it was. So I was writing all the stuff down. Then within a 4-hour block, where I initially would have gone to sleep, I spent that time writing a 7-page review for this said game. Now the review is not amazing by any means. I'm not here to say I'm being modest. I'm just being straightforward. It's like I didn't feel like it was personally amazing. It was just I sat there for 4 hours straight typing this up. And granted, there's a lot of grammar errors and all that stuff. That's just how it is when you have a definition of sleep. So I was just sitting there typing stuff like a madman. As Strictly Seika put it, he pretty much said he was like reading a mad scientist or mad serial killer's ramblings across the wall somewhere up in the boonies. So I was sitting there typing all this stuff up. I finished it, and then I uploaded it to my channel, my website, thedailygamepad.com, for only $9.99 a month. Sorry, WWE humor. So I typed all this stuff up, I uploaded it onto the channel, or the network, and that was it. So if you want a direct link to actually read this article that I've done, it will be in the comments down below, or in this case the description down below, excuse me. So what else is going on here? Well, I'm pre-ordering, or I'm going to be pre-ordering Destiny for the PlayStation 4. And so I'm building a group in the said game, where it's just going to be a little faction. It's going to be a very friendly faction. Up until I decide I want to do PvP, then, everything is screwed in the world. Which I do like myself a good amount of FPS PvP. I'm just very, I'm not going to say I'm amazing at FPS shooters, but I have a very strategic brain when it comes to it. Like, I plan shit out 3 steps ahead. Now, a funny thing about this game in particular, is it would be my second official game for the PlayStation. Actually, no, third, because of Blue Estate. I was actually playing Blue Estate before. So, I'm playing through the beta for Destiny, and I think I did some coverage of that already on here on my channel, but I'm going to go over it again, I guess, anyway. So I'm playing the game, and I put a lot of time into the beta, and I really enjoyed it. It was like a really fun game. It didn't feel like Halo too much. I mean, there's a few elements here and there that kind of vaguely remember of Halo, but past that point, it just felt like a really good game. So it was something I felt like I could invest my time into, and more than satisfactorily, be able to invest a time card for PlayStation Plus to be able to play it online through the PlayStation 4. I originally was going to get Destiny for the PS3, excuse me, but I just said, you know what, fuck this noise. I'm just going to get it for a new gen console, which I own, so it would only make sense to do so. So, basically that's going to be my third title I'm going to be purchasing for the PS4. So, other than that, is another topic I want to talk about, and that of course will end this little podcast, which I try to always keep short as possible. And that of course was something quite humorous within the community here. Now, here's what went down, right? This person was upset he was going to leave YouTube, and she was just like, oh, boo-hoo, that kind of shit, feel sorry for me kind of thing. Which I'm not going to sugarcoat that aspect of the entire the blunt typing of this. So then everyone saw this and was like, a couple were like, oh, that's okay, man, don't give up, while others were just being very honest with him and how they felt, which I think that guy needed more than anything else. Otherwise, he was just seeking attention for what he was doing here. So, as I put my leg up on my other leg here and I lean up in my chair a little bit, let me tell you the story of the tryhard that could. But no. Basically, this guy was pissed off he wasn't getting the results he wanted out of being a YouTube gaming commentator for Let's Plays. Now, anyone who does commentaries or does Let's Plays This is the general basis of that. There's such a saturated market at the moment that it's almost unbearable to even get your foot in the door. And this isn't personally coming from experience, because I ain't aiming towards that market. I'm just playing games anyway. And there's a lot of people on here who already did or do. So it isn't like we're here trying to reinvent the wheel. So you have a lot of famous commentators, people who are very popular, and everyone else who are just unsaturatedly popular, such as Dewey Pie. And I personally cannot stand half of the Let's Players who do that stuff. I mean, again, I'm not saying, oh, I'm a hipster, it was cool before it was cool. You know, it was just, people just did it. You know, it was not a popularity contest when they playing these games. So one thing led to another. Basically, over time, people began thinking this is the money train. We have to all hop on the money train here to go and play these games. So you have people doing like 50 gazillion Minecraft videos, which myself personally, I'm kind of guilty of that. I was just generally playing it for the fuck of it, because I like the game. So that, of course, can be the rough sense of most people who do play Minecraft or a few other of those games. They generally like the games and want to share them with people, which is completely fine. You know, you want to play the game once, show it to everybody, hey, this game is really cool, check it out. Or this game completely sucks ball dick and is pretty much a dick butt. I want you all to look at this dick butt right now. Just stare at this dick butt as much as you can. Just vibrantly stare at the essence of that dick butt sitting right in front of you. I want you to stare at that dick butt until your brain explodes. That kind of thing. So, basically, that's what went down. So, this person thought because they're doing this, they're entitled to money too. It's like, alright, most of these people who already made their money, or are making their money from doing Let's Plays, already had a general audience anyway, so therefore, they were at the right place, the right time, so therefore they profited off that. And that's of course fine, you know, whatever. They're making a market off of that, all the power to them. They're making outstanding amounts of money. Which again, awesome, cool, fantastic. You know, it's not me to say that they're assholes because they're making money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's awesome for them. Kind of thing where I'm not jealous or butthurt. I'm pretty much happy for them. You know, I'm just like, hey, guys making some cash, doing something cool. Eventually we'll get tiresome, the guy will stop doing it, and then you'll still be sitting on a stack of cash, subtract the taxes, and there you go. Or, of course, they get put in jail for a tax evasion. One of the two. Then the rest is history, as they say. So, where am I going with this entire ramble? Quite simply put, I think that people expect way too much out of an already saturated market. That's all I'm saying. And basically to the whimper about it on a community group, then when people retort to them, then you retort back saying, no, my content's actually good. Here's the thing, right? It's like, it's one thing to say that your content sucks, which the person themselves were saying, then go back to the other person and be like, no, it's good, screw you, you know, that kind of crap. It's like, what the fuck? You just said your own content sucks, someone reworded what you just said back to you, and you pretty much told them they were wrong. So are you contradicting yourself at the same time? Like, what the holy hell is going on here? I don't know. I mean, personally to me, I don't have a complete problem with Let's Players. I don't. I usually watch a lot of the people I do already know, such as Mark Hines and everyone else in between, who do play video games, like Yes Booth and everything else. I do watch folks who I already know, who do play video games, like Jughead82, who does a couple reviews for some of the wrestling mods for the, what was it, wow, I'm having a brain fart here, WCW Revenge or anything out, or No Mercy. You know, watching those reviews, they're pretty fun to watch. You know, again, this is because I understand the personality behind them, so it made it 10 times more enjoyable to watch them play a game. Because again, it was a pastime for kids. Usually you had a rich friend or a friend who had a game that kind of like yours. You weren't necessarily good at the game, or nor were you not too shabby at the game. You just sat down and watched your buddy play a game to get to the end. Which, again, I can see where this aspect is going, or this market is going, at least for that. You know, some people just aren't too good at games, so therefore they watch others play it. Again, I understand it. So, and also it becomes a popular trend with most people who aren't necessarily gamers, like iJustine, who do play games, which they aren't too bad at the games. I'm not going to bash her and say she's shit at the game. She's not really that bad. She's like, I watched a couple of her videos. It was, I think it was Borderlands or something like that. And she was playing it. She wasn't bad at the game at all. It was kind of funny watching her fuck up sometimes. And that's the other aspect too. Some people who aren't really good at games, you watch them play, it's really funny to see them screw up versus how you originally see how this game is played. People play it alright, you see general people playing it pretty good. Then you see someone who plays it really bad, it becomes 10 times more entertaining to watch. But, again, that's neither here nor there. So, with all that bearing in mind, I'm going to close off this podcast with saying thank you everyone for watching. Next week, I'm going to try my best to put a couple of highlights for the YouTube gaming community here on my channel. And try to do more highlights. And basically put them on this podcast. Give them a mention or give them a forewarning, like, oh yeah, I'm going to mention you in this podcast, by the way. I'm going to say all kinds of bad stuff. No, I'm not going to say bad stuff about them. But basically to highlight them and, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. And so, therefore, I'm going to promote them. So, closing out, I'd like to thank everyone for listening in. And as always, more videos soon. Touch my nipples. See you later. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos and podcasts to come. Also, down below, be sure to follow me on a few of the social media outlets I am a part of. As always, thank you humbly for watching and leaving your feedback.